Welcome back to The Perspective, and we're still talking to Deputy Chairman of KPK, Laode Syarif, right here on Perspective. So, continuing to where we left off here, there is absolutely there's no possible way for KPK to abuse any of its powers that's been given right now. So, and then the KPK, this is a general sentiment from the entire KPK that the law is there to weaken the institution. Yes.
Yes. I just want also to add, for example, we have inside the KPK, there are two institutions that actually look after the kind of like a code of conduct of all KPK staff, including me or commissioners, you know. For example, we have the internal affairs. And also we have this, call it Dewan Penasehat. Penasehat, I think, is a similar kind of advisory, you know. So if someone actually do something actually against the code of conduct of the KPK, this Dewan Penasehat can actually form an ethic commission.
So there is actually a supervisory and advisory body within the KPK.
And if you look at the history of the KPK, there are several KPK commissioners actually has been through the Abraham Samad included, and even the previous leadership of KPK. Several people there's already went through the ethic, the ethic proceeding, you know, conducted by, and also not only within, but they also invite people from outside, also outside. So we are not, I mean, there is no way we are going trying to abuse our power, because inside the KPK itself we have very strict regulations, and we have two institutions within the KPK actually look after our conduct every day. So internal watchdog.
Yes, yes. It's been designed in such a way that you don't really. So supervisory board is
so there is
redundant.
No need.
There's no need for that. Now, corruption efforts of trying to fight corruption date back to 1950s, but then we know that in 2002 that is a point of no return for Indonesia. It's a very important milestone when KPK was established. Within the first 5 years of its establishment, it has shown how serious it is in trying to track corruptors in the country. And how do you think the journey has been? You are an avid observer of the justice system in the country, and until that leads to your position at the moment. How do you feel the progress of fight against corruption in the country?
Yes, of course. I think if we look back 12 years ago, you know, when actually the first leadership of KPK, the first 4 years actually, they already actually shown some teeth, you know, and how to actually to catch corruptors. But at that time, it's not many cases, but they try to find, they try to place
themselves
within the criminal justice system of Indonesia as a mapping corruption. When the second terms, the second 4 years, now they are start actually looking at the big corruption. So they are prosecuting not only ministers but actually even high-ranking officials. In many. The third one even actually harsher. For example, they've been trying actually even the high-ranking official from the police force, for example. And if you look at the prosecution aspect of the KPK, I think we can be proud of them. For example, if you compare the staff of the KPK, which is about 1,300 altogether, including cleaning service and everything.
So, that's everything, 1,300.
Everything, you know, and we have to look after all corruption there across over the countries. And again, our investigator is less than 100 people. But in a year, we can bring a cases to the court. It says around 100. So, for example, in 1 year, you have like 365 days. Right? So it means if we can actually prosecute 100 a year, it means that every 3 days, we bring one case to the court. So compared with very limited numbers of the KPK. But not only the prosecution side, and if you look at, for example, the conviction rate. The conviction rate in many jurisdictions, it is very, very rare to have 100
Not even high. It's 100.
It's 100 conviction rate. The one and only KPK, you know. And you find it very difficult to find it in other jurisdictions, you know. And again, the prevention side. The prevention side, we work with ministries and government agencies. And for example, just give you an examples on how we are going to prevent corruption from natural resources exploitation, for example.
Yep.
With the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources, we already map out. There are, until today, about like 5,000 problematic licenses.
Okay. 5,000 of them?
5,000 something. And we work with the ministries and the 21 governors and the Ministry of Home Affairs. As today, more than 1,000, about 1,500, they already revoked the license, and we give them again another 3 months to revoke another about like 3,000 problematic license.
Okay.
So can you imagine those people, those companies, they are taking up all natural resources, they do not pay tax or very small amount of tax to the nation. And again, we've been actually successful in revoking it.
And stomping on this.
So I think as an organization, I think we are quite successful, and I think that's why the people are behind us. So we are very, very pleased with the support from the people.
I think it's safe to say quiet is an understatement. Now, we'll talk about, now that you mentioned one of the big programs of KPK, but when we come back, we'll talk more about the programs, prevention, and also anti-corruption program from the KPK.